Hello, everyone, and welcome to Infinite Integrations. I'm Tanys Coughlan from the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy. I am joined by my beautiful co-host, Jacqueline Richards. How are you, Jack?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I am good, thank you. It is a day. You know, the
It
energies
is
are
that
quite...
kind of day.
What happened there? Weird. Okay. I don't know what happened. It is quite a day. So the energies are odd and all of that, and we're just like here to chat. We're going to chat about forgiveness and freedom. It's forgiveness as freedom, actually. Sorry. So,
which are beautiful words to use. Absolutely.
They're F words, but good ones.
Really, really great F words, like fantastic.
Yes.
It's interesting when we think about freedom, and then we link it with finances, and then we continue to link it. I am always pleased that people use that word. I just want to be free of debt. I want to be free of. Then we get to have that beautiful inhale as we lift our shoulders, take them back, release them down, and say, where are your notes? Where is your journal? What does freedom mean to you?
And that's a good exercise, isn't it?
It's a beautiful exercise. Yeah. People think, it's in my head. It's okay. I know what that is. Write it down. It can be, time moves. So what freedom was for you 10 years ago could be different 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
It could be different a year later. And maybe it's a different that you see 10 years from now. What does freedom look like for you, to you?
Well, and it really does depend on what's happening, right? Whether what's happening for you on an individual level, what's happening on the world stage, because it's through the ages, it's been different. Freedom has had a different meaning for each person. In ancient times, freedom was like being able to walk down the street without getting stoned to death.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, past lives and all. So, flashback. Okay. So.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay.
Now it might be not having to worry about where food is coming from, right? Knowing that your rent is paid and your food is paid. Maybe that's freedom.
Yeah.
Maybe freedom means for you being able to travel once a year or twice a year. What does freedom
or every
mean?
quarter? I know.
Every quarter. Yes. Or being able to go to the spa every quarter.
Oh, see, freedom is every month. That's awesome.
That would be nice.
It's interesting in that I do have my journal, and I think I've got 2 boxes of journals, because as you continue to write, 2 things about that. Do you keep your journals? I'm going to ask the group, do you keep your journals after the end of your journal? When it's empty, do you keep them? I was told that, this is Wonder Woman. I was told that your journals, you shouldn't keep them. And I think it would be something like pulling it together and potentially burning it while you have a conversation. Thank you so much for the opportunity to learn more, have the opportunities to have the lessons learned. Or like me in my box, I can't bear to burn it. I stow it away. It's almost like a recipe book for me.
Yes.
So in 2008, I take out my book because I have it. Actually, it's 1995. I have my furthest, but I open it up, and as I open the pages, it's like, whoa, I've come a long ways. Wow, I've learned a lot. When I open it, I went to that place that I forgot, and I should go back. It's kind of like the spa. And does that mean freedom to me? that book says I was free to make choices.
Mm-hmm.
And so whether it was relationships or not, you know, friends, we have friends that come, we learn that lesson, and then we get to say goodbye. It's been beautiful. Or we have friends that we've known for, and I know there's people out there. We've
Mm-hmm.
known our childhood friends, and we're talking decades now, decades, decades. I was calling thinking about you. Isn't that great? It was freedom to open the door, freedom to dial the number. Is it the same number? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe now they're on Facebook and I have to look it up on Facebook.
It's true. Speaking of Facebook, we should say hello to some of our people
Oh,
that are watching
of course.
because we have Melanie here. Welcome, Hypnocity,
Hey,
Melanie.
hey,
And we have Hector. Thanks for
hey.
joining us, Hector.
Thank you.
So, the conversation is, what does freedom mean to you?
Yeah.
And how does forgiveness play into that? Are there things that you need to forgive yourself for to find that inner freedom? Right? Welcome, Shem. Nice to see
Wow.
you.
Hey, good day. Um, Freedom and forgiveness. When as I said, I open my journal and I see the oh hi.
Hi,
And
buddy.
so, and I see the things that I went through, like in that journal, it's not always, oh, cute. In that journal, it's, I went through lots of stuff, or I put
Mhm.
someone through lots of stuff, or I
Mhm.
received lots of stuff. And, and when we use that word forgiveness, and as I look at my journal in 2008, was I able to forgive? And how about forgive me first? Forgive
Yeah.
you next? And I have to say, I might have had to go to the 2010 journal to see, yes, I forgave myself for that one.
Well, and if it comes up for you again, then it's time to do the process again, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, freedom is living without fear of judgment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the more we step into our sovereignty or our empowerment,
Mm-hmm.
um, the less we have that, right? The more that we're stepping into love for others and ourselves. So that's really stepping out of fear and into love, which I'm all about that. So
I
yes,
think, yes,
absolutely.
I love that you get to talk about that. I know at the end, I know you're going to tell us a little bit more about love and the workshops and conferences you're going to speak to about love. I'm like, yes, but I jumped it. I'm so sorry.
No,
Please
that's
forgive
okay.
me.
We have a lot of stuff in play right now. We're working
We
on
do.
all sorts of interesting stuff. Some we're ready to announce, some we're not, but we shall
Yeah.
see
Oh, we
what I
will.
what I what the guides tell me I'm supposed to share today. Yes. So, of course, when we're talking forgiveness, we can't talk forgiveness without talking about the Ho'oponopono.
Thank you.
So, we do that thing that we're not so happy that we did, and we want to forgive ourselves. Ho'oponopono in the mirror,
Yeah.
right? I'm sorry. I do it a little different from what the mainstream one is. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you, and thank you. Right? So, if we can do that, do I even have that here? No, I don't anymore. I used to have it in my banners. I will put it in the comments for those that don't know it. I'm
Now
sorry.
you
Please forgive me. I love you. And thank you. And doing this actually in the mirror works wonders for that self forgiveness piece.
yeah.
So, as well as on others, just
And
picture their face.
there we go. It could be, I've got these beautiful photos who, it, first thing in the morning, it would be really good for me to do that. What a great way
Mhm.
to start after my meditation. Maybe that is my meditation. I have a good friend. Oops, I'm going to lean over. Sorry. So I don't know if you can see that. Oh, maybe not. It's a photo of me and Paula. And Paul and I were at an event, and at the event, it was kind of fun because it was Harley Davidson who had their motorcycles there, and we could sit on the motorcycle, and we were giggling, laughing. It was amazing. I still have it because I knew her through thick and thin. Her name's Paula. She's my hairdresser, and she is more than a hairdresser. That I even said she's my hairdresser. She's a great hairdresser. She's a good friend. She's had her 3 babies. I've seen the 3 babies. They're stunning. And, I'm looking at decades of knowing this young woman and seeing how she has progressed in that she opened a shop. She has staff. She has ongoing clients. And she's so beautiful about hairstyles. And it was, my hair was long and now it's not, and it's cut short. And she said, something incredibly beautiful last time I saw her. She said, you need to honor your curls, Jacqueline. You need to honor your curls like you honor your body. You need to honor your curls. Like, I haven't ever heard that before.
Well, it's part of us, right? Honoring us. That is part of that self-forgiveness. Let's honor ourselves in that.
Yep. And take off that mask. I don't need to blow dry my hair long. I can wash it and curl it and not really need to curl it. I take my hand and massage my head. I'm like, oh, I like that. And she allowed me to see it. And so I got to forgive myself for understanding I don't have to blow dry my hair. I don't have to have it straight. I can simply be me. I forgave myself. Understanding
and there's freedom in that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited.
Beautiful. So let's talk a little bit about finance, because as you guys know, we talk about the 2 on here. We talk about spirituality and how that fits with finance. So let's talk about how financial debt becomes tied to shame.
Oh, that D word. It's a 4-letter word. And so is love. Love is a 4-letter word. Debt
It is.
Shakes.
Different connotation, different feel.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So when we take a look at money, currency, we monetize it, and we suggest that, I know our friends and family have said, I'm good with money. And so you're speaking to friends, family, I'm really good with money. And then you have someone who drops their head chin to chest and they say, I'm not so good with money. I'm crappy with money. Sometimes shame follows money. And as does success. So debt becomes that identifier. And it's not just about identity. It is so often about circumstances. Where have you been drawn to? What steps have you taken that drew you? I was going to say dumped you. That's another D word. That took you to that place.
Another 4-letter word too.
It was another 4-letter word. Dump, debt. I will always ask you to take a moment and be okay with yourself. Things happen. And shame keeps the nervous system, because we're in yoga and we talk about the nervous system, and we do take that beautiful deep breath. And we think we're infringing on our nervous system. Sometimes our feet hurt. Sometimes our wrists hurt. Sometimes we haven't given our bodies enough water to hydrate. The nervous system, the para and sympathetic system, needs you to honor it, regardless of what's happened around you. Honor the body. Honor your soul. Shame doesn't need to follow you. You know what needs to follow you? Love, space, calm, another 4-letter word, needs to want to follow you. Let it be another option to make choices. Make choices.
Yeah, here's a good, so Nalani says, we're judged by numbers. Credit score, body weight, bank accounts. And shame gets attached to finances, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely.
exactly. How much money is in the account? Oh, not enough for Tim Hortons coffee. Side note, Tim Hortons coffee is $1.05 for a small coffee. Treat yourself to that small coffee. Sit down with your journal and write, I'm a great person.
Yeah.
I'm a great human being. And it's okay.
Yeah, because when our nervous system's in survival mode, it's really, it blocks flow, right? It blocks our energy flow, and then we can't fill ourselves.
Yeah.
And then it's very difficult for us to continue to sit in that space of flow with financial or otherwise.
Yeah. I'm thinking about, I'm asking you to pull out your journal and write. You know, your journal can be all sorts of colors. There's so many colors of ink. And so if we were talking about chakras and we're talking about money, you might want to pull out a yellow, I was going to say yellow pen, a yellow marker,
You could have a yellow pen.
or a yellow pen, or paint, and begin.
Crayon.
That yellow is, I love that. We can do
Use
that. It can be
crayons.
done.
Use crayons.
Yes.
It's good.
Funny, Tanys, I carry crayons with me.
Yeah.
Yep. And every time I'm at a restaurant, this is my secret. I'm at a restaurant and I know for a fact things are going to show up. Maybe I don't have a pen, but you know that restaurant usually has things for children. So I ask them for crayons and whatever the coloring sheet of paper is, and I bring it. Well, they bring it to the table, and I start using the colors. I start drawing notes, which is how I wrote my first book. I was at a restaurant and I started writing with crayons. And
There
what
you
does
go.
that have to do with money? Oh my gosh.
Well, your book
Nothing.
has to do with money.
Oh, yes, it does. But thank you for reminding me. I'm like, book was just a message about money,
Yeah. Yoga for your
about
personal
colors.
finances.
You got it. Yep.
Yeah. So check that out if you haven't already. That's Jacqueline's
Yep.
book.
Yep.
And she's working on an expanded version,
Second
just so
edition.
you know.
Yeah. And so you talked about survival. Taking those breaths, we need it when we are questioning ourselves. Is it the shame? Is it the guilt? You know, forgiveness truly separates behavior from identity. Behavior from identity.
Yeah, because who we are is not our behavior, right? We are infinite beings of light.
I love it. Yeah.
Right? Full, which is where our name comes from, by the way, infinite. Just saying.
While we were having coffee and we had crayons.
Infinite integration. Yes, we're beings of light and love, and just because we're beings of light and love, we're also human. So the behaviors that we do, sometimes we make mistakes. That's okay. How do we learn if we're not making mistakes? Right? So this is it.
Yeah, that's when we ask the questions. Like, well, I would ask Tana, since you brought it up, from the heart. What is an energetic debt? I mean, we're talking about currency. We're talking about gold, paper money. We used to talk about spices and gemstones. And what is energetic debt?
I still talk about gemstones, just saying. Anyway.
As I take my long water.
Energetic debt. So really that's more like energetic imbalance is what it is, right? We're like, if there's an energetic imbalance between two people, then it doesn't feel like a healthy relationship, right? And so that's something that actually we're working on a business program right now for spiritual entrepreneurs. That came up when we were working on it, because we have to feel like we are honored for what we do, And people need to we need to honor others for what they do, right? So that is the exchange in terms of that, right? So when that feels, so if you find you're doing too much for somebody and you're not getting enough out of it, it doesn't feel good, right? And that's kind of that energetic debt, when we
Is
feel
that,
like we're putting more out than what we're getting back.
yeah. Do you feel like you're being taken advantage of when you are giving more than you anticipated?
I think it can go there, yeah. And then it might require some forgiveness, right? Because if we go into those negative emotions, then it's going to require us to do some forgiveness work on the person those are going towards, because it's my reaction, it's not their issue, really, right? It's how I react to it that's a problem,
Yeah.
for me, right? So, I mean, if they're doing that, then we have a choice to put a boundary around that, to change whatever is happening. And that's what our responsibility is. But if it's reversed, my responsibility is to treat others with compassion and respect. And so, if you're talking doing stuff for people, like, you don't expect your friends, like, you're not going to go and start paying each other, right, to do things if you're friends or whatever. But you expect from friends that there's a give and take. You know that a friend is going to be there for you if you need them, just as you would be there for them,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So we're not just talking money here, is what I mean by that. Like, we're talking about, if there's someone who's always needing something from you, but you're not getting anything out of that, that can feel like an energetic debt, right? And the person that's like not giving enough can often feel that way too. And that's where sometimes when we ask for something, we're actually giving that person the opportunity to be able to give back when they may not have known how to give back before. So it's really, that's how we start to look at those things with compassion. So conversations, right? Around, hey, I'm feeling kind of drained. Um,
Yeah.
and being open to, oh, how can I support you with that? We're not there to save people, but sometimes just listening when they need it is a way to do that, or holding space for them, right? And we're not talking money there, we're just talking time, which is a commodity. I mean, it is a resource like everything else. Or energetically, if you're an energy healer or something and you're like
Mm.
constantly giving energy to somebody, but you're not getting anything back out of that exchange, it can feel depleting, right? Essentially, I think that most times, as long as you're giving and you're not expecting in return, you won't have the same kind of debt feeling. But that still can be, it's difficult to sit in that because it's a human thing. I don't know.
It
Does
is.
that make sense?
It is a human thing, as you're speaking, it's allowing the freedom to be able to say to whoever that human is,
Mm-hmm.
I I've I need to step away. I believe I've done what I needed to do for you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe maybe that's that sort of freedom. And then the forgiveness. They're all beautiful pieces. And I would love for you to speak a little bit more about the energetic piece.
Okay. We have Louise Charbonneau has joined us. So welcome, Louise. And she
Hey.
says, expectations is tricky. Absolutely. Right.
Mhm.
I think on both sides that's tricky. And then it says, she says people leasing, but she means people pleasing.
Yeah.
People pleasing is tricky too. Yeah, because the other thing is, when we try to people please all the time, sometimes we're not asking permission. We're just jumping in there.
Because there were
So,
expectations. Of course you're going to jump in. Of course.
yeah, yes, exactly. Healthy boundaries is a necessity,
Yeah.
definitely. And
Louisa, I'm
so
laughing
this,
because Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, uh, people leasing, people pleasing. I'm in the mortgage business, so I thought, well, how appropriate.
People leasing. Maybe not so much in today's
No,
society
not
right at the
not
moment,
yet. No.
but so here's a question. Is it truly giving if there's an expectation attached? Not really, right?
Wow.
It's not a gift if that's the case. But that's very
Yeah.
difficult to do though, right? So that's where you find people pleasing and self-abandonment go hand in hand. So if we start to self-abandon all the time,
Mhm.
then you're people pleasing, you're giving more than you feel you can because you're abandoning yourself to do the people pleasing, and that creates that energetic debt within. Right? If we're always giving and giving and giving, and it's because we're
Mhm.
trying to people please, and we go past our point where we feel fulfilled, we'll say, then we're going on empty, right? So energy, we need energy to do our stuff. So it's like you go out and run a marathon, and then someone asks you to run a 5K.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it? Probably
Interesting.
I wouldn't, but
But it's knowing it. Thank you. The word boundaries showed up. What are
Mhm.
your boundaries? And it's, I know many people who have had scenarios where they needed to take care of an elder,
Mhm.
and it was long stretches of time, long stretches of cash flow, long stretches of pause. I
Mhm.
got to get to the grocery store, got to get to the drugstore, got to get them to the doctors, got to.
Gotta.
When, how do you, what do you think your boundary should be like as the questions, the requests continue?
Mhm. Well, and I think we give more leeway often to family because we also think, like, if for instance it's a parent, we think, well, they did that for us.
Yeah.
So you don't have necessarily the same kind of debt feeling that you might if it was, I don't know, somebody else, right?
Well,
So yeah.
maybe.
So here's Nilani says there's still an exchange of energy. However, I'm at my happiest when I'm helping others.
Yeah.
We do gain energy from helping others as well, right? The part that distinguishes it is if we're helping others and we are not self abandoning to do so.
Yeah.
So if we're helping others, we've got, say, we have not run the marathon, we had great sleep, and we have tons of energy, and someone asks us to run that 5K, say, please, can you run this 5K? And you're ready, you've trained, it's good. Absolutely, we can do it. If you've just run that
It,
marathon and you get asked
yeah.
and you do it anyway and you're depleted, then you're self-abandoning in that moment. When we self-abandon, it increases that debt that we have, right?
And you're seriously hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's a, a huge amount of stress you've placed on your body. Now, you asked to run a 5K. You know what? I'll do half of it. What if I do two of the 5K so that at least I've done something for you and something for me? Because maybe I have the energy to do half of that. Why
Yeah.
can't I just do half of that?
Well, and there's some situations where we can, right? But not all.
Yeah.
And yes, Louise, that's what I was meaning. So the obligation is tricky.
Mm-hmm.
So like feeling obligated means that you're self-abandoning, right? And exactly. We do gain energy if we practice self-love and self-care. And not self-abandoning is practicing self-love and care. So really learning about yourself. And I mean, this is one of those basic spiritual
Mm-hmm.
principles, right? is know thyself. So what do you know about what your limitations are? What do you know about how much you can give before you feel it's too much? When do you start to feel that I'm getting burnt out feeling? Because that's when we've overextended.
Yeah.
So it's
And
all
then
about getting to know yourself and your own limits too.
100%. And then the question is, do you recognize it? Do you recognize that it keeps happening? And it's not just one person, it's not just one human. It continues to come to you. Is it because you're telling people that that's okay? Because you will be okay to be extended further
Mm-hmm.
than one should. When people expect things, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's it, it's sometimes saddening. And
Yeah.
when they expect it, where's my freedom? Do I have the capacity to freely say, I I'm not in a position to be able to do that for you?
Mm-hmm.
Am I free to say, I can't drive you there, but maybe you can take a taxi?
Yeah. Or say no if we really don't feel like
Stop it, Louise.
it. That's hard though. It's a hard word for people.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
we've been brought up
Yeah.
in a society where we're like, well, you have to keep people happy. I mean, we're taught this in customer service, we're taught this as children, right?
Mm,
Do what your parents want you to do and don't say no. And so that just goes right into our adult life.
yeah.
So it's going to happen. So,
And it's great knowing when to say no.
and I think we learn that as we get older,
Yeah.
most of us. We start to realize, oh, I'm not as young as I used to be. I can't put out the same way in terms of my efforts for everything. And so we start to be more aware of where our boundaries need to be because we don't want to go through burnout, or we're more aware that we need to take more self care and more do more self care, and self care can be saying no, for sure.
Can be.
Hello, Rachel. Welcome. Good to see you.
Hey.
Hmm. So having the freedom to say no, we're talking about freedom and forgiveness. Um, so having the freedom to say no, which we do, right? Unless you're being threatened, in which case that's another whole thing. We,
Yeah.
you know, get help. But
Exactly. And it's interesting because we have the freedom to vote,
Mhm.
whether we do or not. We have the freedom,
Yeah.
and then no one has to tell you who should you vote for.
Mhm.
So that's my awareness. I'm free to do that. I understand there are other conversations that can be had. I'm free to have my own opinions.
Yeah, of course.
I know I hear people, are you
Not even
sure?
just in politics. You can have your own opinions all the
Exactly.
time.
100%. It's like I'm going to the grocery store now.
No, I'm not going to the grocery store now. If I don't feel up to it, I'm not doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's quite empowering when you start to do it, but there is that fear of abandonment that we fight with it, right? Because if we say no, they're going to be mad at us. Well, what happens if they're mad at you?
Exactly. And then it's
Hmm.
how often are they going to say no to me? I said
Hmm.
no that one time. Does that mean you can't ask me any questions because I will continue to say no? I've seen that. I
Yeah.
said it once, just once. I find that with children.
Yeah.
No, I take that back. You say no. It's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? You didn't mean it, did you? You meant to say yes.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Free will.
Yep.
We have free will. Hearts to you too, Rachel. Yes. It's a fascinating debate when we start to look at those things.
It is.
Right? So, and of course, when we have it, those are like energetic contracts. When you have stuff going back and forth between people, there's like an energetic contract that you agree to say yes or not, and that's the contract, right? But forgiveness can go a long way in clearing those contracts and not and changing them or
It's
renegotiating
true.
them,
See,
right?
appreciating, renegotiate.
Hmm.
It's kind of like recycling. Renegotiate, and know
Well,
that you have the
we do it
strength.
for mortgages.
Yes, we do.
Jack can help you with that.
Yeah. So we talk about renegotiating. It's can I renegotiate my interest rate? I heard that Bank of Canada is going to do something really interesting. Are you thinking they're going to raise it or lower it, or maybe status quo, or maybe I get to renegotiate the equity in my home so that I can go out and take the trips I'd like to take.
Hmm.
I have a good friend of mine who is in Spain right now. I'm envious. She decided to take the time and say more yes than no.
Hmm. Yeah. So, Jacqueline, can someone build wealth without forgiving past money mistakes?
There are so many. There are so many stories with that question. So many stories that we've heard, that we've seen in movies, that we've called on experts to help us through.
Hmm.
And past mistakes are past mistakes. The key is now, what did you do? What is your present moment? It's difficult to build from shame. As soon as it happens. So I work with people who have um, lost homes, who've claimed bankruptcy, credit a proposal. Oh my gosh, Jacqueline, a credit proposal, it means that you want to have a conversation with me so we can figure out what your next steps are.
Hmm.
Can you build? Absolutely. You know, and being able to pick up that phone and call or text or email, um, that allows you to move the clouds. That allows you to make decisions because you've asked for help. That allows you to um, step into a much more powerful place that you sit. Life happens. You're
Hmm.
not the only one. Millionaires have made mistakes. I know there's a millionaire that I've heard about who
Yeah.
went bankrupt 5 times and continues and continues
Yeah.
and continues. There are people who are in relationships where money became an issue.
Oh, I've heard so many people that their relationship, that everything ended because of that.
Yeah. And it was that they wish they could have, but they could
Hmm.
not see a path. Together, they could not see a path. So then
Yeah.
you need to make choices. Do I stay or do I go?
Hmm.
If we stay, do we make it work? Because then you have to ask the question, what happened? What might have been some of the reasons? Maybe someone lost a job.
Yeah.
And we talked about stress and burnout. When stress and burnout, it's hard to make a living knowing that you don't even want to take a step ahead because you're looking behind you and that's all you're seeing. Uh, it, that's
Yeah.
when we take a look at that. When we are looking behind, we continue to slap ourselves on the shoulders, slap ourselves on the back, and that's not a happy slap on the back. That is a I can't believe you did that slap
Yeah.
on the back. We
Yeah.
get to forgive ourselves. Punishment, where let's choose not to have that personal prison. Let's know that
You,
there's options.
in spiritual context,
Mhm.
justice is considered learning, not punishment. So when we look at things in that sense, we can start to look at mistakes as a learning opportunity instead of something that we're going to be punished for. Even though, our society programs us to think that we're going to be punished, right? Because we
Yeah.
often have had instances where that's been the case, in childhood and stuff. But it doesn't mean that we need to look at it that way when we're adults.
Yeah.
Right? It's a learning
This,
opportunity. There's always a way to improve it.
and why not look at it like that? This has happened. So pause, cry, swear,
Mm-hmm.
take beautiful long walks. Understand that there's opportunities and options to have conversations. And I think you'd surprise yourself when you open up your journal and say, my gosh, that's what happened in 2006. And we're in 2016. And look at where I came. 2016, no more guilt, nothing but gratitude. In my classes, I say, what are your 5 successes of your day?
She
And
does.
maybe I do. And maybe one of those successes is not hiding from the bank. Take a look at the bank account. Maybe one of those successes is choosing to put away 10% of your income.
Mm-hmm.
And as I continue to say, maybe that's just an option, an opportunity. It is take a long, deep breath, lift the shoulders, take them back, drop them down, because we're human.
We are. And we're here to learn those lessons, right?
Yeah.
We're here to learn everything that it's like to be human. So we're going to go through all
Yeah.
sorts of experiences. But it doesn't change who you really are.
Yeah.
That being of love and light. Right?
Knew it. I knew it. Um, it's uh, aside from learning lessons, aside from learning from the mistakes, it is an education. And may I say, have the freedom to be open about the scenarios. You are not the only one who's been through it. And maybe there's an opportunity, not maybe, there will always be an opportunity to have a conversation with someone who you see is feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
You sense it. Their system is saying, I need help.
Yeah.
Be that, I'll say, be that caregiver who says, I've been through that too. Let's have a
Yeah.
conversation. There's an education that can be made, can be created. Let me find a way to help you. And maybe it's in a mastermind group that you're a part of. And you sit down and you think, I've got 90 days. Maybe you can have 90 days. Let's talk about what the systems can become and can be. I love those masterminds. They open up so many possibilities, so many.
Well, because you can brainstorm ideas that you might not have, right? And also the nervous system, when we're all activated,
Yeah.
because we're stressed out about stuff, we can't necessarily think as well.
I
So
love that.
that's why it's
Stressed
always
out.
important to have help, right? If you don't know,
Yeah,
find someone who will listen, even if
exactly.
it's just hold space, because sometimes when we talk it out, it allows us that moment for our nervous system to go, okay, I'm talking to somebody, maybe I can relax about this for a minute. And then you know what
Yeah.
happens? The blood starts going to our brain again.
Ah, absolutely. We continue to tap. We tap. And when we're tapping, maybe we do a Ho'oponopono and asking ourselves a question. Well, maybe I take it back. I'm going to ask Tanys this question. What is compassionate accountability spiritually?
Okay, so compassionate.
Compassionate. Yeah.
Yeah. So just because we're spiritual, just because we're showing compassion, does not mean that we are not accountable, right? So we are accountable for our own actions and reactions. And that means for money,
Yeah.
for our life, for all of that stuff. We are
Yeah.
responsible for it. Being spiritual doesn't mean we're just going out and doing whatever.
Airy
Because
fairy. Yeah.
we're supposed to be here on earth. We're supposed to be doing this stuff. It's hard sometimes, I have to say. However, we are responsible for that. So we do need to have accountability to ourselves and to those around us, right? And others need to be accountable for their own actions and reactions. So it's okay to ask them to be accountable with compassion, right? We're not going to say, you need to take responsibility. Like, we're going to be nice about it. I noticed that perhaps, here's where my HR hat goes on, right? I notice perhaps you haven't done X, Y, and Z. I'm just wondering if you would mind, following up on that, please. It's often when we hold people accountable for things, if we don't do it with compassion, it can be contentious. But when we understand, and the way we show compassion in these situations, right, is because we understand that that person might be going through something, and it might be something we know nothing about.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Holding someone accountable could be, you know what, I noticed you didn't have time to do this. Yeah. Are you okay? Do you need support? When I was managing, it was, I noticed you haven't had time to do this. Do you need resources? Is there something that I can put in place for you? What's happening for you?
Isn't that insurance? So when you're speaking that way and all of a sudden insurance popped in, I'm like, that's my insurance to take care of me, my car, going for my massages.
Mm-hmm. That's the insurance for us.
Yes. As you continue to talk about it, being able to open and ask for accountability. Is that your insurance? Maybe.
Well, I think it's peace of mind, yeah, which is kind of what insurance is, right? But it does need to be done with others with compassion, because we don't know. We don't know why they didn't respect our boundary, or they didn't meet a deadline, or we don't always know. And if we assume that they're just slacking off, most people have a good reason for not doing something. There's usually a good reason. We may not always agree with their reason, but to them, it's a good reason. Right?
Yeah.
Tell that to every boss out there. Yeah, I'm working on that, Louise. Lead with love and compassion.
Yeah.
Right? Working on a book, just saying. Been through my share of those bosses.
Yeah. And those contracts, tell me a little bit more about the contracts, because remember, once upon a time we had contracts and we had to poke our finger and sign it in blood. We had a contract. I recall there were those days they wrote about it. But I'm not thinking that we want to do that, although there was a situation, well, I think we talked about it a couple sessions ago, where there was a gentleman who needed to put together a will. Mm-hmm. And he needed to he didn't have ink. And so he did it in a way that people understood what he was looking for. So energetic contracts, in what forms do they come in, Tanys?
Well, I think, the expectations we talked about earlier are a form of contract, right? When we have an expectation, we're expecting somebody to fulfill a contract. But the trouble with that is you may not always know that you're in this position of being expected to fulfill the contract. Right? That's where we have difficulty. The beauty about contracts, when we have a good contract, all parties know what's expected.
Yeah.
And have agreed to fulfill those expectations. Essentially, when we have a contract, that's what that's about. Yeah. So when you have a contract that one party doesn't know about, and they haven't agreed to fulfill those expectations, and the other one has the expectations and has this contract in their mind, well, that's not going to go very well, right? That's like when we sign a contract that we're going to do X, Y, and Z for an employer, for instance, like what Louise was talking about. And then we don't do X, Y, and Z. But we signed the contract saying we would. then we're expected to, right? We've said okay to this. It doesn't mean that, I mean, there's almost always a way to get out of at least the energetic contracts, not necessarily legal ones, but
Okay.
energetic contracts.
Yeah.
I mean, we make small contracts with people all the time, and mostly with ourselves. We make a contract. How many times have we put New Year's resolutions in effect? Those are mini self contracts. How
Oh,
many
that's a
times
good
do we
one.
break those contracts?
I guess like,
Right?
well, exactly. Well, here it is. We're here in the nations. I'm in Ottawa. We're in Ottawa, and we have the longest skating rink, which is the canal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I create a contract with myself. I am going to learn how to skate. I'm buying skates this season. I'm going to go out and skate on the canal because the canal is about the weather. And so with good weather, I can go out and skate on the canal. That is a contract that began the mid-December.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that contract, if I have not fulfilled it, means that the weather states I have another 4 hours before I can skate on the canal, and then it's done for the season.
And that's a good example of when you don't have control over all of the variables within a contract.
Yeah.
Right? Because you said, oh, I've got all year to do this. Then all of a sudden, there are variables that we don't have control over, like weather.
Yep.
And we don't all of a sudden have all year, So, like, you've made that contract with the canal, but the canal wasn't listening to the weather. And so there are always times when things come up, right?
Exactly.
And having compassion, we have to have compassion for the canal because the weather interfered.
Exactly. Although it did well by us over these last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided, now we'll walk along the canal. I shall not skate along the canal.
Yes.
It is what it is. I'm going to live in the present.
Yeah.
And that's my intention.
And being present is a big way to hold that forgiveness. Right? Being present. We are safe in this moment. Right? In this very moment, we are safe. So forgive yourself for all the stuff in the past because it's already done. Don't worry about the stuff in the future because you don't know what's coming. Who knows what the weather's going to be like?
Yeah.
So be in the moment. Be compassionate in the moment.
Yeah.
Be accountable to ourselves and those we love.
Because that's the freedom we have.
Mm-hmm.
That's our freedom. When I get to say that word, I do take a breath. I lift my shoulders, take them back, drop them down, and know that freedom is a gift. And my intention is to appreciate the freedom that I have. Wish freedom for all, including my daughter, my grandson, freedom for all. And that allows us to make decisions about financial contracts, freedom to look for a home if that's where I'm at, the collective. I'm going to look for a home. I have the freedom to look for a home. I have the freedom to understand how I'm going to pay for that home. It's not about being bad with money. It's being great with the idea of what you'll do with the money. Looking for a home or a business. I am working with a client who's looking to buy a business. Oh my gosh. How long have you been thinking about that? Well, in the past, I was told that I was not good with money. I said, and right now, your present moment, how are you feeling about that? I kick that to the curb. I am going to buy a business. I'm going to buy it now. I've got documents so that I can go out and look for not one, not two, but 3 businesses. I'm so excited. That's the conversation I'm having because they decided not to be left behind. They decided not to disregard. They chose not to judge themselves
By other standards.
Exactly.
Right? It's I have a personal example of that because in high school, I was like, not the best student. I kind of like to hang out with my friends. And so my guidance counselor, when it came to applying to university, my guidance counselor told me, you're never going to get into university. You better apply to colleges.
Oh,
I got into 3 universities that I applied for and successfully graduated in social science, Bachelor of Social Science, with a dual concentration. So do not
not just
listen.
one.
Do not listen. And
Exactly.
I went to college after and got 2 more certifications. But don't listen to other people's imposed limitations on you.
Yeah.
It's it's not valid, right?
Well,
We
it's
can
not
do
your
amazing
truth.
things.
Yeah, we can. We
Mhm.
can. And we do. We do amazing things.
Yeah. One quick question, one quick thing about the emotional contract. The one thing
We,
that I wanted to mention too is, when we have that feeling like, oh, we need to. Oh, thanks, Louise. We need to call that person because we haven't called them in a long time. They contacted us, and we have to call them because we feel like we have to call them, and
Mhm.
that's like an emotional contract, right? We're feeling like we should be calling them. So
Yeah.
even those small things, those can weigh on you. So really, I think one of the best ways to start working through this stuff is one, forgiveness for not having done it already, but then just do
Yeah.
what you feel you need to do. Take like 15 minutes a day and work away at that list. Get rid of those contracts that you have with yourself. Do something
Yeah.
towards them. It's not always easy. I'm not saying it's easy. There's days you get up and you're like, I can barely get out of bed. Never mind adding 15 minutes to my day, Tanys. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
But
Exactly. Is that a full moon out there that's talking to me? No, yes, no, yes. Yeah.
yeah, but there are
Yeah.
ways to move through it.
Oh, thank you.
I cannot believe that we are at the end of our time. Yes, an
Oh,
obligation, exactly. And those weigh heavy, right?
it does. It
Mhm.
really does.
So, what have you got coming up, Jack?
Excited that we're going to, in, I was going to say in a short amount of time, we'll have the 200-hour yoga certification up and ready to
Yes,
go. And we'll be looking for people to say, yes, I've wanted to
because
do this for a very long time. Oh, how perfect is that? Yes.
we have our registration. We're so
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
So, yes, we're looking to start that very soon.
Yeah.
Um, Likely in a month and a half, four
Yeah.
6 weeks. So
Yeah.
if you're interested, please reach out.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be posting it very shortly, and that's one of the things that we're working on
Yeah.
is that. So
Yeah.
if you are interested, reach out to you can reach out to me, Tanys at twillowlifestyle.ca, or Jacqueline, and see.
Yeah.
And we'll let you know. We'll keep you posted. And thank you all for joining us, for Nalani and Louise, and all of those others that were here, and all
Yeah.
of those that will be watching this in
Exactly.
in the future. So we thank you so much for joining us. We have I guess in terms of what's coming up, what
Yeah.
do we have coming up? Well, we have Twillow Talk next week. It's actually Twillow Stash. So come and
Oh,
join us. We have Gerald on
perfect.
Monday. So those of you that know him will know that that's coming. And then we have this next
Yeah.
week. So yeah, that's where we're at. Stay tuned for classes because we're
Hmm.
working on stuff that we want to get up really soon. The 200-hour is one of them.
Yeah.
I've also been asked to do another channeling, so I'm going to start looking at that as
Good.
well and see where we can fit that in.
Yeah.
And Jack and I are talking about other options as well.
Yeah. And
And
I
we have
think
some.
yoga for your personal finances is somewhere
Yep,
um, an
that's coming
opportunity
soon.
to talk more money.
Yep.
Oh, and more yoga.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. And we've got yoga classes that we're going to be posting as well.
Yeah.
So if you want to do yoga out of the comfort of your own home, please join us for that.
Yeah.
And we might even have some new teachers starting really soon with some other great specialties. So stay tuned. And yeah, final words.
I'm so excited about 2026, what's happening with us and with all of you. Continue to grow. Continue to take those long, deep breaths and lift your shoulders, take them back, drop them down, and forgive yourself because you are amazing.
Lead with
Namaste.
love.